them sitting here with us today because of 77 different individuals that were ready to go at a moment's notice. And that began with the first person that called 911. Right? That's one person right there, and who do they call? A dispatcher. That's another person. So that dispatcher took that call and dispatched officers. We have Metropolitan Police Department here that risk their lives every day, that respond usually two for a severe trauma. And then the fire department. We have Dr. Slattery here, and I think Chief might have stepped out to do some heroic work, but so they have an engine crew of 4 members. Then you have your rescuers for 2 that will show up. Then you have the ambulance shows up with another 2 EMTs, and then they phone into our telemetry nurse, and then they'll take report. Then you have a unit clerk there that's going to page out of that person talks to the operator, another person ready to go, so talks to the operator. We have security that will be dispatched to secure the trauma center for the inbound trauma. We have 2 trauma nurses. We have the respiratory therapist that will come over, which is usually 1, and then some of our C-STARS program. You have your lab technician ready to go. You have your 2 x-ray techs, one to put the plate there, the other one take the picture. I'm just kind of revisioning every trauma call I'm going through. I had to write these down. Pharmacists, you have a pharmacist and a resident standing by to give drugs. You have the trauma residents, which is usually 2. You have another 2 medical students. You have your trauma fellow that's overseeing it, and then Dr. Files is a trauma attending overseeing all this simultaneously. You have your anesthesiologist that shows up. You have a blood bank technician. You have a radiologist that's going to read these films and report back these acute findings right away to us. You'll have the CT tech that's in charge of making sure we get our CAT scan done in time. You have your TICU charge nurse that will pop in the CAT scan, say, is this one for us, and should I start mobilizing the ICU? So that you have the OR scrub nurse. You have the OR scrub tech, a circulator, anesthesia tech, and then now you're in the operating room. After all that, we get the patient over to the ICU. EVS comes in and gets the whole entire trauma area cleaned up and gets the operating room cleaned up, ready for the next one. We have transporters that are running blood back down and forth to the unit. We have the TICU day nurse. We have TICU night nurse. We have intensivists. You have the ICU fellow, 2 more ICU residents. You have the unit clerk there dispatching all of these orders and things we're doing. Numerous consultants, as you know, on average 2. You have your nutritionist, your speech therapist, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, your case manager, social worker, nurse practitioner. Then you have a transporter that gets that patient up to the floor when they're doing better. Then you have
we're really kind of managing twofold. We're managing both the well-being side and at the same time making sure with those individuals that we get them the services they need and their eligibility.
Hello, good morning.
Staffed with experts from a range of partnering agencies, the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center is a one-stop shop for caring. The center offers victim advocacy, counseling, spiritual and mental health referrals, and assistance with the application process. Clark County took great care and used other cities' expertise in decorating and designing the center, from the lobby to the artwork adorning the walls.
Because of the trauma and what people experience, as you look around the center, what you'll see is you have photos of the incident, you have photos of the memorial, and how people grieved in the initial first few days and then weeks. So the crosses, as an example, at the Las Vegas sign, photos of that. But then we also got all kinds of heartwarming gifts from other jurisdictions that had been through similar incidents. So when you look around, you'll see those. You'll see those thank yous, you'll see those photos, and it's really so those that are dealing with the trauma can feel comfortable here in terms of the incident and recognizing it.
One important piece of advice is to hold on to anything that proves you attended the event, such as pictures, receipts, emails, social media posts, wristbands, and more. The Vegas Strong Resiliency Center website is a single point of contact for locals and a valuable tool for out-of-state concert attendees. Visit vegasstrongrc.org for more information on all the services and resources available. Kevin Schiller is one of 3 assistant county managers in Clark County, arriving in July of last year from Washoe County. I recently had a chance to talk to Mr. Schiller about his first few months on the job. Kevin, you've been on the job for about 6 months now as an assistant county manager here at Clark County. Before that, you spent some 17 years in Washoe County, including
in terms of that. And so the other piece I would say is because it's a bigger pond, developing those relationships and those partnerships to really, and Child Welfare, Department of Family Services, and some of the programs, obviously I was involved in integration of child welfare back in the late 90s. So I got to learn a lot there. But then as I kind of evolved, we hit the recession about the time I became a director. So one of the key issues I had to do was look at program change related to the recession. So the recession really allowed for the breaking down of a lot of silos because people didn't have funding. So I was able to utilize government funding and private partnerships to really I developed a Crossroads program, which was really tied to indigent services, really looking at serial inebriates or frequent flyers within the system. So some of those clients are costing $250,000 to $350,000 a year between incarceration, medical costs, community response, law enforcement, and set up a program that now has about 160. And then on the child welfare side, really trying to do the similar process in terms of how do you do outreach, how do you do diversion within delivery of those services, and just, there is no finish line. It's that constant proactive outreach. And I think up north, I was able to establish some of that programming, which really led to diversion, going from more restrictive to less restrictive in terms of those service components, both to save a dollar, but also, and more importantly, so the October 1 incident, as horrific as it was, it also created more on my side an opportunity. I had to get thrust into meeting a lot of community providers and a lot of leadership across the county that does a wonderful job. But I also see that as opportunity to develop continued partnerships for other service continuums, both tied to October 1, how we expand and do what we need to do for all those that were impacted, because we have a dedicated process for recovery. This isn't a short-term issue, as you know. It's a 3-year process at a minimum, and then how do we move that forward? But at the same time, also looking at how it crosses over in, again, back to human services. How do we develop those partnerships so we can improve people's lives?
One of the agencies that obviously has been very much involved in that and everything throughout the 1 October tragedy, and one of the departments that you are oversee is the coroner medical examiner's office. Talk a little bit about Coroner John Fudenberg's office and what you've seen from the professionalism of their staff.
So, in looking at the coroner's office, and it's interesting, I had a dialogue with the coroner when I first got here, just in our orientation meeting. We talked about emergency response and disasters, with obviously no inclination of what was coming. But I will say, because I have the coroner office up north in Washoe County and now I'm down here, I can say John really runs a lean machine in terms of his staffing, in terms of his structure and his sheer volume. That's one thing that I will say. If you compared the north to the south, when I look at the volume, it's not even in the same ballpark. So I've had a learning process there. But tied to October 1, it really has just been a non-stop, really since October 1, of both workload tied to his department, but then also a focus on the coroner's office. When you're dealing with this, and then you're dealing with people's lives, you're dealing with grief, you're dealing with loss. One of the things I really want to comment on is the dedication of that staff and the impact to the staff. And John's involved in our recovery process and how we support our employees and everybody impacted by it. Often we think on the victim side, but the other side of that is everybody that responded and is part of that. The coroner's office is a piece of that. And it's been a massive workload, whether it's related to a public relations side in terms of being a focus, but also doing day-to-day work. Because what people sometimes forget in the process is with October 1, we have lots of dedicated staff from the coroner's office and our other departments that are working on the recovery and the resiliency, but day-to-day work doesn't stop. So that's the other component that I think in management departments is trying to figure out, how do I make their life easier in trying to do that, and how do we continue to manage? And it really has been a day-to-day since October 1 to make sure that we do business as usual to some degree as best you can, while we're also trying to meet the needs and the demands of this horrific event.
Clark County also oversees family services here, which might be one of the most important duties I think we do. Talk a little bit about that department, what you've seen there through adoptions, fostering, and any other thing, the services that department does.
So I always say in the world of child welfare and Department of Family Services, it's a really hard job. And I can tell you, since I've been there, there's hardworking staff. When I look at the department, I've spent a lot of time at the different sites and the locations. You have a department of over 800 people that are all really hardworking people and do a great job. I think the other issue tied to the system is there is no finish line. So we're always trying to figure out, how do we improve our system? How do we work within our system so that we can provide the services, the safety net and the spectrum? That community partnership, I think, is a really critical component to that. But on the staff side, I think it's also tied to looking at that continuous improvement. And so, you know, and I've been doing this, you know, going on close to 25 years, and I can tell you in the world of child welfare, I often refer to it as kind of dog years in terms of a year in child welfare is like 3 years in something else. It's really hard, and I think that is a responsibility. My leadership here and why I came here was really to step into that, just to try to continue to move that forward with the hardworking staff in the department.
Something completely different, the Clark County Shooting Complex, one of the best in the country, and I know you've been out there and shot. I don't know if you know this, Steve Carmichael, he's in the Trap Shooting Hall of Fame, and he said you're an excellent shot. So it's taken a while for the community to catch on to this in the shooting complex. Give us the status of the shooting complex and where you'd like to see that in the future.
So my perspective on the shooting complex when I came down here for the job, I was interested in the shooting complex only because I do like to shoot, trap, and skeet as a sport. And one of the interesting components is it's really a state-of-the-art facility. It's very exciting and fun to me to be a part of that. You know, in terms of the future and in terms of where it goes, it's fairly new when you look at it in the longevity of the county. But I do think there's some opportunity tied to the center related to its size and its potential related to international trap and skeet. So one of the things that we've also talked about is possibilities of how do you utilize that current park and its current structure to both enhance tourism for those that are avid shooters, and then also look at how it can enhance the revenue for self-sustaining revenue tied to the facility and its longevity. Because of its sheer size and because of the number of visitors we see coming to Clark County, I think there's a huge nexus on an international market also that is still being tapped into.
All right, we appreciate you spending some time with us. We'll let you get back to work. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
A world-famous pen company in Boulder City has signed on as one of the many Vegas Strong community partners. It's probably the flashiest and most resilient of any writing utensil. And the Fisher Space Pen's out-of-this-world production began in Boulder City, Nevada. The iconic pen company's half-century local heritage and civic commitment meant getting involved and helping with the healing after our darkest day last October.
So I'm very pleased to hand over checks of over $5,000 to each of the funds.
The company manufactured a special edition Vegas Strong pen after the 1 October tragedy. The company's entire profit from the Vegas Strong pen was donated, more than $5,000 each, to the Las Vegas Victims Fund and the Injured Police Officers Fund.
Fantastic. It just warms my heart. It's beautiful, and I can speak on behalf of the company. We are ecstatic to even help contribute in the small amount that we did.
And these fundraising activities that go on just speak volumes about what our community is, and the fact that a company like Fisher Pen would take the time to do this. There's a lot of charities that they could have picked, and this is one that they picked, and I think it speaks a lot to who they are and what their commitment to this community is, so I applaud them for that.
The Vegas Strong pens are available online at spacepen.com or at their Boulder City store located at 711 Yucca Street. The legendary Riviera Hotel Casino once stood in this massive parking lot, and it will soon be replaced by another icon, a multi-billion-dollar expansion of the Las Vegas Convention Center. It felt like the 4th of July on a wet January day, a fireworks celebration signaling the historic groundbreaking of Convention Center expansion. For more than half a century, the convention business in our city has boomed into a vital part of our history and economy.
But some visionaries came together, and they saw fit to attract visitors to this mirage in the desert, Mayor. And 50-plus years later, here we are, Tommy, to break ground on something that generations to come will look at and be proud of.
This new construction phase will add at least 600,000 square feet of new leasable exhibition space, and the entire project will cost $860 million.
This day has taken quite a journey, almost 12 years from the time we started talking about this expansion and renovation to groundbreaking today, and so we are totally excited.
Chief Rossi Rollencotter leads the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, and for 23 consecutive years, our city has ranked as the country's top trade show destination, including last year as Clark County hosted 57 of the 250 largest trade shows in North America. These meetings and conventions are a backbone in our tourist economy and support more than 18,000 local jobs annually. And this expansion will put thousands more to work immediately.
This project creates almost 14,000 construction jobs and 7,800 full-time jobs upon completion. And Mr. White promised me that he's going to be able to bring this project in on time with the men and women that are going to build this in Las Vegas, right?
Governor Brian Sandoval is the biggest booster of Clark County convention business and the Las Vegas brand. The governor says this expansion will solidify our city as #1 in the competitive and lucrative trade show industry.
San Francisco, Boston, New York, Orlando, I'm really competitive, and there is no possible way that I was going to let any of those cities pass Las Vegas. No way.
To Las Vegas.
For more information on the expansion and all convention and tourism news, visit lvcva.com. In the past year, the Las Vegas Township Community Impact Program has helped reduce recidivism amongst low-level offenders. And now the program has a brand new permanent building here near Swenson and Twain. A contingent of judges, cops, district attorneys, and a couple county commissioners snipped a ribbon that signaled the 1-year anniversary of a collaborative, innovative program at the Las Vegas Community Impact Center.
This facility will become a dynamic community center by connecting individuals with services including mental health counseling, medical and dental care, substance abuse treatment, education, job training, and life skills classes.
It's been said that without a sense of caring, there is no sense of community. And this Community Impact Center is the embodiment of us as a community caring for those in need.
The center is a place designed to help low-level, nonviolent offenders improve their living situations while they perform community service and restitution to the victims in the community where they offended. It's been a county-wide success story after year #1.
If they need housing, staff helps. If they need a job, staff helps. If it's counseling, staff helps in lines of services.
Typically, offenders are then reassessed after a month to determine if they are meeting all the court-ordered requirements.
Justice, thank you very much.
Clark County issued a proclamation to the Impact Center recognizing the efforts from Justice Court, Metro, and many local agencies for making this a one-stop location for services to keep people out of the justice system and jail.
It's really important that Judge Bonaventure and the others in the Justice Court have success here, because that success will beget success, and it will provide us an opportunity to make inroads where we really haven't been able to make them yet. We're pleased to be able to support everything that is happening here.
Robert Engels was once a panhandler on the Strip, racking up more than a dozen citations and accumulating thousands of dollars in fines. Since his 3-month stint at the Impact Center, his criminal charges were dismissed, and he was able to secure his Social Security identification, a studio apartment, and reestablish his life.
And people like me that were way down came a little bit up, and we're just going back up a little bit higher each day. And we've leveled off to a certain period that we're part of the community today, and I want to thank you all.
The bravery and the crime-fighting skills of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department are on display every day. And that's why the community turns out and says thank you to Metro during the annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Day.
Reloads and fires, picks up another gun, and fires, reloads and fires, picks up another gun, and fires.
Metro captain and local poet Harry Fagel offered his spoken word tribute to the 1 October victims and emergency personnel.
And ascend the staircase to heaven.
That was just one of the many solemn moments and heartfelt remembrances at this year's annual Law Enforcement Day at Police Memorial Park.
Our community really became a community after that event. So there is some silver lining associated with such a tragic event, And one is the fact that we are truly a community, and everybody can see that. Vegas strong.
Present on!
Precise performances by the multi-jurisdictional honor guard and Emerald Society Band opened the ceremony. Hundreds of members of the public participated in the meet and greet booth areas where specialized officers mingled with residents. And the Raiders and Golden Knights colors were worn with pride as pro sports was well represented.
It's the greatest level of public service that one man, one woman can do for their community.
Commissioner Larry Brown says our police officers are our bravest public servants, and he also handed out Hands of Respect pins.
I'm more proud of this than almost anything I've done.
The pins were designed and developed by Marvel Comics legend Stan Lee and are doled out as small symbols to remind us all of how the culture of respect can create a better world.
We appreciate his support of our community, and I know that these pins, these Hands of Respect pins, mean a lot to he and his daughter, so we thank Stan Lee.
Our most famous sign was given a symbolically appropriate light bulb color change of blue in January to honor the men and women of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
There were about just under 1,000 staff members of LVMPD who in some way or other responded or were involved in the aftermath of October 1st.
Tom Kovac offered a calculation of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's personnel who bravely answered the call of duty during our community's darkest day.
And for Metro, for all that you do on behalf of all of us in Clark County, Larry.
This year's Go True Blue campaign takes on a deeper meaning and will last all year long.
Since the tragedy of 1 October, there has been a groundswell of support for the officers in our community. And might I add, it's a well-deserved groundswell of support.
And the Go True Blue movement was signaled by flipping a switch that turned the usually yellow lights on the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign to an appropriate color of blue.
What Metro does each and every day is to protect us. We want to be safe. We want to be safe at home, at work, at play, and that's all due to having the best police department in this country, and that's Metro.
To learn more about the Friends of Metro and how you can show your support to our women and men in law enforcement, visit lvmpdfoundation.org. Since 2013, the county's public arts plan has continued to educate, enlighten, and expand with stunning public arts displays throughout all of Clark County. 2017 was a head-turning year for public art in Clark County. Laurice Varela Rico's eye-opening sculpture greets motorists near the Beltway and Eastern. Norte y Sur, that's north and south, is just one of 10 median sculptures scattered throughout the valley, a public art project called Centered.
It's a great piece. It's actually 1 out of 10. It's a series. It's very unique. These are all median art pieces, and they are all around Clark County, and it's 10 different artists. The project took about 2 years to complete with all of them, and this was our last piece to get up and going.
Since 2013, Clark County's art plan has provided local artists with blank canvases to create, beautify, and display their work in public spaces. Not just street medians, but utility boxes, park locations, and with regular exhibitions in the galleries at the Clark County Government Center Rotunda and the Winchester Cultural Center.
One of the great things about the arts plan is we've been hiring local artists to create these sculptures and murals.
Finding passionate individuals to craft quality art is the goal, and all local artists are invited to participate and apply.
If you're an artist and you're interested in these things, I would like you to start thinking about them and getting excited about these. The other great thing about our program is this RFQ process. You don't have to pay anything. Look at the requirements. It's basically handing over some images of your work, getting an artist statement up and going and a resume, and that's about it. Like, that's your cost, is a little bit of time and effort, and who knows, you could be awarded a phenomenal project.
I want to be with you, long enough to notice newly formed moles on your face and trace them back to our lineage.
The art of spoken words is not forgotten. The Public Arts Plan supplies funds for a poet laureate in Clark County. Vogue Robinson is the current poet laureate, and the spoken word superstar provides a platform for other local poets and teaches reading, writing, and rhyming to students. The Summer Business Institute is a program that gives high schoolers a chance to learn about careers, and Parks and Rec participates by hiring students with an interest in the arts.
They will be educated not only on public art, but all types of art forms, and kind of learn, is this something that they want to get into? Could this be a viable career for them?
A recent example of the budding artist's hands-on design is on display at Sunset Park, where SBI students spruced up the park's rental center with fun murals inside and out.
So we also have our ZAP project.
And ZAP continues to electrify neighborhoods, with artists creating masterpieces on the sides and tops of utility boxes. The last wave of ZAP artists beautified a few dozen of the usually boring containers in the Lone Mountain area. A different community is chosen each year, and the Cheyenne Walnut Corridor will be this year's site.
I paint wet on wet. I don't wait for layers to dry. And so
local artist Gig DePio is working on an enormous mural that will be permanently installed at the Overton Community Center. Gig is painting people and historic scenes from the Moapa Valley. And later this year, the Rat Pack will be celebrated with an art installation by Wayne Littlejohn at the corner of Dean, Frank, and Sammy near the Strip. Mr. Littlejohn is already renowned in the county. His dream machine sculpture is a 26-foot spiral that wows all the Siegfried and Roy visitors near the airport. Clark County provides ongoing opportunities for artists. Visit the Parks and Rec webpage. And you can also join the visual artist email list directly by registering at ccpublicart@clarkcountynv.gov. And that's our show. For more information on anything you've seen on this program or anything relating to your Clark County government, visit our website at clarkcountynv.gov. On behalf of all of us here at Clark County Television, I'm Randy Swallow. We'll see you again next time here on Clark County Chronicles.
You're watching Clark County Television, our community, our home, Clark County, Nevada.
6 miles westbound, Airbus 8,787. 775 pounds, Airbus. There's a local from 24 and traffic 10 o'clock about 7 miles northwestbound. Radio Las Vegas, Florida, Federal, West Channel 43. Maintain 210 miles to India.
Hello and welcome to Flight Path. I'm Chris Jones, Chief Marketing Officer at McCarran International Airport. It's been another busy year in terms of passenger volume at the airport, but there's much more to McCarran than numbers. Here's a look at some outreach activities in which we participated that didn't make the headlines.
As gateway to Las Vegas for nearly half of all visitors, providing the best customer experience possible is a top priority.
I believe customer service is critical at the airport because we're the first and last look of Las Vegas. You know, to us, we're the airport, but to our visitors, we're part of Las Vegas. And that is what they're coming for, and that's what we hope brings them back. The airport is made up of so many different agencies, so many different pieces, but to our customer, they want a seamless experience. And by putting in this customer service culture, that provides them that smooth, efficient experience.
As part of the MAZE program, each year the Department of Aviation recognizes 2 employees who have gone above and beyond to provide outstanding customer service.
You're the unsung heroes of the tourism industry.
This year's winners were treated to a surprise visit by former Mayor Oscar Goodman, who recognized them for their achievements as hospitality heroes. The The Voices of Vegas program enhances customer service by extending the Las Vegas experience to the airport through music.
Look me a lady tonight.
In addition to playing Vegas-only music all the time, the program includes live performances featuring a variety of musical genres.
No city in America depends more than Las Vegas on aviation and the promotion and travel and tourism.
Maintaining relationships and keeping up on the latest industry trends is vital to securing additional air service to Las Vegas and meeting customer service expectations.
We're the #2 O&D origin and destination airport in the nation. We pride ourselves on that.
In 2017, airport staff participated in hosting Routes Americas, the American Association of Airport Executives Conference, and the Boyd Aviation Forecast Summit.
It is absolutely crucial to stay on top of the industry. We are such a dynamic, ever-evolving industry in aviation. And so we need to send our staff to worldwide type of conferences to keep up on the industry. Not only do we learn, we get to share what we're doing at McCarran, and we always have a lot of interest in that.
In support of Las Vegas's tourism-driven economy, the airport was pleased to welcome newcomer Eurowings to the lineup. The low-cost German carrier offered non-stop seasonal flights between Las Vegas and Cologne from June through October. On the domestic front, Delta, Spirit, and Frontier Airlines also contributed to record-breaking growth. October 2017 was McCarran's busiest month ever. McCarran is the economic engine that drives this dynamic destination, but helping those in need on a local level is just as important as helping to fill hotel rooms with visitors from around the world.
We have a community enrichment team here at the Department of Aviation, which I think is just a crucial element of us, the airport staff, going out to the community and helping and volunteering. But it has had really a dual type of benefit. The employees work side by side with each other, where they just don't normally get to in the course of their regular shift. And it just is such a feel-good and wonderful activity to help the community, regardless of what it is.
This year, the Community Enrichment Team donated time and talent on their off hours to charitable organizations, including the Shade Tree Shelter, Ronald McDonald House, and the Miracle League of Las Vegas. In addition, approximately 40 employees and their family members from landside operations volunteered at Spring Mountain Ranch to paint fences and realign rocks on the walking trails.
Right on the runway, look at that.
For the 5th year in a row, airlines, concessions, and other airport tenants joined the Department of Aviation at Paper Plane Palooza. With help from airport mentors, youth from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Nevada created paper airplanes and competed in distance and accuracy throws.
This is the best plane ever because I threw it and it went so far.
Food and fun was had by everyone, and each child went home with much-needed school supplies.
Nothing like competition amongst the entire airport team, our tenants, ourselves, the airlines, that help the kids really get introduced to aviation, and the generosity of our tenants and our airlines that supply the children with back-to-school needs.
Come on, Dad. Hi.
McCarran International Airport, Allegiant Airlines, and the Arc of the United States co-hosted the first Wings for Autism in Las Vegas.
What's your name? Logan. My name's Joey.
The event gave more than 300 future travelers the opportunity to experience traveling by air in a safe and realistic environment.
They go inside and they find their seat, so they're all now looking for their seat.
This year, more than 25 team members visited nearby Gene Ward Elementary School for Nevada Reading Week.
Reading is a valuable skill because it's fundamental. You have to know how to do it no matter what you choose to do in life.
Exposing students to careers in aviation while encouraging them to stay in school and study hard is also an airport tradition.
I personally love it because we get to talk about the airport. We get to introduce them to the whole aviation industry. I share with them how much we have to read a day, what the pilots have to read each and every day, what an airline ticket agent has to read each and every day. So reading is an essential factor for education and for growth.
And if you know what's on the wheels of that aircraft, there's all fans on it because they're cooling the breeze.
McCarran also hosted a behind-the-scenes tour for a group of high school students participating in the University of Nevada, Las Vegas's Summer Transportation Institute program.
I never knew that
that the airport ran like this, like everything is so organized.
The visit emphasized the importance of aviation to the local economy and enlightened students about the variety of potential careers within the industry.
The airport's primary objective will always be to help visitors get to and from Southern Nevada by air as safely and efficiently as possible, while providing a customer experience on par with the city we're privileged to serve. But at its core, the airport is about people helping people.
In response to the tragic events of 1 October, the airport was able to provide its shuttle buses to help transport concert goers to nearby aid centers.
On behalf of Clark County Fire Department, Metropolitan Police, TSA, Honor Guard, welcome to Las Vegas. Thank you for your service.
Vegas strong! The airport also facilitated the annual Salute to the Troops, a celebration where wounded service members are flown on a special American Airlines charter flight to Las Vegas for an all-expenses-paid experience of a lifetime. Year's End saw the return of the student choir from nearby Doris French Elementary School to help kick off the holiday season at the airport.
McCarran is an important part of the local, national, and global community. It's a hub that connects countries and commerce, a portal that bridges passengers and places, and that's why people will always be at the heart of our mission.
Nearly 100 aircraft were on static display at Henderson Executive Airport as part of this year's NBAA Business Aviation Convention and Exhibition. The premier trade show is a can't-miss event. Here's what happened.
The National Business Aviation Association, or NBAA, is the leading organization for companies that rely on general aviation aircraft to help make their businesses more efficient, productive, and successful. The NBAA Convention and Exhibition brings industry leaders together in Las Vegas to conduct business, purchase aircraft, and make decisions about the future of general aviation. And this year, they also help the association celebrate its milestone 70th anniversary.
It draws in a lot of traffic. We have 96 aircraft on static display. Also brings about 100 other business aircraft into the airport. It has a $24 million economic impact. It brings in premier business jets, business jet owners, gives them a chance to get together, have discussions about safety and efficiency.
As Clark County's premier general aviation facility, Henderson Executive Airport is the perfect place to host a portion of the world's largest civil aviation trade show with a static display. During the show, part of the airport ramp was transformed into an airplane showroom, featuring rows of aircraft from multiple manufacturers that often use the venue to showcase their newest products. The static display allows buyers from around the globe to evaluate a wide spectrum of options in person and in one location.
Henderson is a spectacular airport for this particular event. Closely located to downtown Las Vegas, truly professional team of people. But you know, Las Vegas has always been a great place for us to host this convention. It's very much a pro-business atmosphere. There's great infrastructure. There's a lot of energy here.
In addition to the outdoor display at Henderson, the three-day event showcases some of the latest technological advancements in aviation and boasts more than 1,000 exhibits at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
The National Business Aviation Association is the world's largest event for business aviation operators. We have over 12,000 companies in the United States that rely on business aviation to meet at least some portion of their transportation challenges. Once a year, we all come together and celebrate the new products and technologies that are part of this magnificent industry.
The NBAA Business Aviation Convention and Exhibition has something for everyone. For manufacturers and exhibitors, the show attracts high-end clientele and potential buyers from around the world. For Las Vegas, the convention means 30,000 visitors and an economic boost to the local economy of more than $20 million. For attendees, Southern Nevada is the perfect location for this type of convention.
It's always the latest and greatest in technology, cutting edge, you see it here, and the weather here is perfect.
Planning the event takes more than a year, with nearly a week and a half of construction and setup required just to put all the aircraft and temporary structures in place. Meanwhile, Henderson Executive Airport remains open for business.
The conference also highlights the value of general aviation to the local community and helps generate repeat business for Las Vegas and Henderson Executive Airport.
To provide additional retail options for McCarran customers, new shops are coming to the D-Gates. Here's what customers can expect to see when the project's completed.
Known as the Runway Shops, the new retail area will provide customers a more diverse retail mix with newer trending brands. 5 new retail outlets will be located in the D Gates Rotunda and will be easily accessible from both Terminal 1 and Terminal 3. 4 stores will feature brands that are new to McCarran. McCarran customers can purchase the popular plastic wrist watches at the new Swatch kiosk. The clean and simple store concept will let the bright colors and creative designs of the unique Swiss-made timepieces shine. Edgy Urban Decay will also join the McCarran lineup, offering customers a variety of cosmetics ranging from award-winning eyeliners to smudge-proof mascaras. Contemporary apparel boutique M. Frederick boasts a wide range of stylish, trendy apparel and accessories for women, men, and children in an eclectic yet warm and welcoming ambiance. Fifth and Sunset sells a variety of stylish eyewear for the outdoors. Tech on the Go will expand its offerings at McCarran with another location at the Runway Shops, where customers can find an array of electronics for travelers, from headphones and chargers to cell phone accessories and MP3 players. Work on the $1.5 million project began in August 2017 when power, data, and fire suppression capabilities were added. When the retail area is completed, customers will enjoy a fresh mix of stores that are easy to get to for a quick peek or extended browsing experience.
Automated screening lanes were recently installed at Terminal 3 security checkpoint. These new lanes have been upgraded with state-of-the-art technology that enhances security and improves the customer experience.
Automated screening lanes are an innovative technology that enhances the passenger screening process.
3 lanes have been converted at the Terminal 3 security checkpoint. Passengers start the process by showing a TSA officer their boarding pass and identification.
Then the passenger will be directed to one of these spaces where an empty bin will automatically dispense below the stainless steel countertop. Several passengers can place their items in bins simultaneously. The bins are 25% larger and are able to hold a rolling bag. Unique radio frequency identification, RFID tags, are attached to each bin, allowing for additional accountability of travelers' carry-on property as they move throughout the security screening process.
My favorite part is on the security perspective. It's having the RFID tags and understanding which bag is which as it goes through the system. On an efficiency perspective, it's the multiple divest. Allows folks to not wait behind that person who's trying to get their stuff through the system.
Once a passenger has placed all of their items in the bin, they simply push it back to the automated conveyor belt, which moves bins into the X-ray machine. The new lanes can automatically divert any carry-on bag that may contain prohibited items to a separate location. This allows other travelers' belongings to continue through the screening process uninterrupted.
It makes improvements in multiple areas that really allow our officers to have better tools, better equipment, so that we have improved security, but we also get improved efficiency. And that's the combination. We want to be more effective and more efficient.
A camera takes a photograph of each bin and links it to the X-ray image, which helps speed up the process if the bag is diverted to a secondary inspection. Finally, the automated conveyor belt returns the empty bins to the front of the security checkpoint for the process to begin again.
Automated screening lanes are in use at airports across the United States. McCarran partnered with the TSA when exploring this state-of-the-art checkpoint technology that enhances efficiencies while decreasing the amount of time travelers spend in the security screening process.
Terminal 1 has some new sparkle and shine thanks to a modernization project in ticketing and baggage claim. Here's a look at the finished results.
To enhance our passengers' overall travel experience, a multi-million-dollar project modernized the facilities at Terminal 1. Outside, improvements on the departures curb include metallic skycap podiums along with new doors and entryways. Inside, Terminal 1's ticketing areas were transformed into a lighter, brighter lobby with new terrazzo floors and decorative column treatments. A new restroom, conveniently located in the center, was also added. New in-floor electrical ductwork increases McCarran's ability to support self-service kiosks. Easy-to-read signage, new ticket counters, updated finishes, and a fresh coat of white paint on the walls and ceilings round out the improvements which will better serve our travelers.
It really enhances the customer experience. It's a great first impression for our customers. Every podium now has their own scale, which helps expedite customer processing.
In baggage claim, an intricate mosaic was added, showcasing the iconic landmarks that have defined the Las Vegas skyline, both past and present. The Terminal 1 improvements are just one more way the airport strives to be on par with the entertainment capital of the world McCarran Airport is so proud to serve.
To reach out to our growing number of Hispanic customers, each episode of Flight Path features a segment in Spanish with English subtitles. Here's Gabriela Muro to tell us more about how ride-sharing works at McCarran.
El viaje compartido se ha convertido en un método popular de transporte. Mediante el uso de aplicaciones para teléfonos móviles, las compañías de redes de transporte conectan a los clientes con los conductores que brindan viajes utilizando sus propios vehículos.
Tanto Uber como Lyft están autorizados para proporcionar servicios de viaje compartido en McCarran, lo que brinda a los pasajeros otra opción para llegar y salir del aeropuerto.
El uso de los servicios de viaje compartido en McCarran es simple. Primero, recoja sus maletas de equipaje y luego siga los letreros que dicen Rideshare en el lugar de recogida designado. En el Terminal 1, el lugar designado se encuentra en el nivel 2M del garaje de estacionamiento. Desde el reclamo de equipaje, tome el ascensor cerca de la puerta 2 hasta el nivel 2. Cruce el puente de peatones al garaje de estacionamiento y tome el ascensor al nivel 2M. El área de recogida en el Terminal 3 está ubicada en el nivel de ballet del estacionamiento. Desde la reclamación de equipaje, tome el elevador cerca de la puerta 52, 54 o 56 hasta el nivel 1 y cruce el puente peatonal hacia el garaje y tome el ascensor hacia el ballet. Simplemente use la aplicación en su dispositivo móvil para solicitar un conductor que lo recibirá en un puesto de estacionamiento alfanumérico designado. Los pasajeros que consiguen transporte al aeropuerto pueden ser dejados en las salidas del Terminal 1 o el Terminal 3. Por supuesto, taxis, limusinas y autobuses están disponibles para el transporte de pasajeros que necesitan transportación.
Para una lista completa de servicios de transporte en el aeropuerto, visite mccarran.com y seleccione Transporte.
To provide on-the-go mothers a private place to breastfeed or pump while at the airport, McCarran recently installed several nursing suites. Here's a look at this new amenity.
The 32-square-foot modular suites were purchased from Mamava, a Vermont-based company dedicated to transforming the culture of breastfeeding.
The portable pods give traveling mothers a quiet, clean, and comfortable place to breastfeed or pump and are conveniently located in Terminal 1 and Terminal 3.
We're always trying to improve customer experience for our passengers and guests that are coming through the airport, and this is just another way that we can enhance that.
This app or call the McCarran Service Desk. Once inside, a deadbolt lock ensures privacy while indicating whether the suite is occupied or available for use. All suites feature a table perfectly suited for a breast pump and 2 benches to comfortably accommodate a mom, her luggage, children, partner, or other necessities. In addition, the suites have interior outlets and USB ports so moms can charge their phones, power a breast pump, or plug in any mobile device while relaxing.
This is something that provides a unique aspect of privacy for the mothers that are nursing. It allows them to get away from the sounds, the noise, and the distraction, and take care of everything they need to take care of.
For locations, visit McCarran.com and select Relax, then Nursing Suites under Airport Amenities.
The skyline of Las Vegas is ever-changing. We recently showed you the new FAA Air Traffic Control Tower, the second tallest in the United States. That state-of-the-art structure made the old facility obsolete, so in true Vegas style, it had to come down. Let's take a look.
The old FAA Tower has been an important part of McCarran's amazing growth. When it opened in 1983, the airport served 10.3 million passengers a year. Today, McCarran handles nearly 140,000 travelers, making Las Vegas's Gateway Airport one of the busiest in the country. To keep pace with growth, a new state-of-the-art tower opened in August 2016, and the outdated tower was decommissioned. The old air traffic control tower consisted of the control cab perched on top of 4 individual legs that contained stairs, an elevator, plumbing, and cable shafts. Crews began the multi-phase demolition in early March 2017. Tearing down the old structure was no easy task. The 180-foot tower was located on a small site surrounded by fence line, 2 elevated trams serving the C and D gates, and critical utilities. This meant the only viable way to demolish the tower was the same way it went up, 1 brick at a time. Once the antenna was removed, the cab was next to go. After waiting for favorable wind conditions, a carefully positioned crane did all the heavy lifting, slowly lowering the cab to the ground below. Next, a custom platform was put in place so the concrete blocks could be ground down. A black safety net was draped over the structure to catch any falling debris. The entire demolition was completed by the end of 2017.
The only remnant of the iconic tower is a single-story base building that will be preserved for future use.
Feeling a little under the weather? Code 3 Urgent Care and Pharmacy, located in Terminal 1, has medical experts with specialized training to manage a variety of conditions.
Hi.
Hi, how can I help you?
I don't feel very good. Code 3 Urgent Care has board-certified emergency medicine practitioners who are available to provide the very best care.
Located in Terminal 1 near the AB security checkpoint, the 1,500 square foot facility provides customers access to a variety of medical services.
We're a full-service urgent care. We offer a lot of variety of services. So think of cough, cold, congestion, sore throat. We also offer great services such as B12 injections.
Code 3 Medical is open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. to meet the needs of airport travelers and employees who work here. The facility features 2 exam rooms. Another room is set up for x-rays and sonograms.
Either a nurse practitioner or physician's assistant evaluates you, and we give you the best care possible here.
For passengers in need of a little extra care after a late night out on the town, Code 3 has an area where passengers can simply rest, relax,